Hey everyone, it's your Ride or Die Homies, aka the Mayhem Mercenaries. I'm Ashley, Ashface Killer, live with your boy, the Mercenary for Hire, Rodney. We're here to give our instant reaction to tonight's episode of the challenge, episode 15, Thinking Thin. Can you believe we're at episode 15?
Season is flying by, even with
It
all the
is.
breaks, right?
It is. It's crazy. All right, so we have Corey coming off his win now that Josh is gone. And we see him that he is immediately thinking, okay, I want to be number 2 on Tori's list. We see that he really wants to be Tori's number 2 because remember, she was protecting Jordan and Josh. So now that Josh is gone, he wants that number 2 spot. Talking about number 2 spots, can you just break down the alliances in the house?
Sure. Well, since we're down to about 5 guys and 6 girls right before the end of this episode, only your number ones and number twos matter, right? Because you have to choose 3 targets. So those spots are important in everyone's list, right? So the way it's looking, Bananas is sitting pretty, right? Because he's got his 3 angels. So either one of those can be his 1 or 2. It really doesn't matter because they all got him as his number 1. And now that Josh is gone, Corey's pretty much secured his number 2 spot with Tori. So Tori, we have Jordan as number 1 and Corey as number 2. And Corey, after speaking with Karl, now has Karl as his number 1 and Tori as his number 2. And Rachel had secured a deal with Jordan just to make sure that everything is aligned to secure her path to the finals. So she has Jordan as her number 2. And that is most likely true for the rest of the angels. So you can include Jenny and Aviv in that list of having Bananas at 1 and Jordan at 2. And you have Michelle, who saved Kylan. So she has Kylan as her number 1, and most likely Derek would be her number 2, whereas Kylan has Michelle as his number 1, and most likely Tori as his number 2. Then you have Derek would have Kara as his number 1, and Michelle most likely as his number 2. So when it comes to that, right, everybody else is on the chopping block in terms of any eliminations, depending on who comes in last for each event. So, it's a pretty fine line, right, between friends and foes, if you think about it, because you can't protect everyone. Like Tori loves to say, the math ain't mathin'.
That's true. It's true. It's finally gone down to the nitty gritty, and it's like, hey, I know we was rocking together, but you can't protect everybody. At the end, someone's feelings are gonna get hurt, and I feel like Tori's low key foreshadowing, like, hey, Corey, I can only protect you until it's not you and versus Jordan, because I gotta rock with my number 1. So I definitely see that coming. But tonight's episode was pretty straightforward. I mean, they talked about the alliances in the beginning, and then we went straight into the challenge. This challenge was called Tight Quarters, and it was pretty badass, in my opinion. Our challengers have to go through these tight, dark tunnels that have bats, rats, ants, and spiders. And once they get to the checkpoint, they have to do a slider puzzle. After that, they're going to race down these hallways or still the tunnels, that are like football fields long. How many football fields? I don't know, but they must have been running for a long time. And they're carrying this huge bag with them that's filled with blocks that they need to use at the final checkpoint, which is to solve a puzzle. And the puzzle has TJ's face on it. So let's just talk about this challenge really quick. Did you see how tight and small the entranceway was to get in the tunnels? Like, I'm thinking, if you're a big booty Judy, how are you getting through?
Hey, with this challenge, I mean, I'm hoping that, the producers did their due diligence to make sure that every challenger available was able to fit through this space, because it was tight, to say the least. I mean, everyone basically had to raise their arms just to get down there. Even there was a mentioning how the helmet just barely fit through the hole. And this event was not for the claustrophobic, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And the bats, I'm not a fan of bats. I don't want to touch a bat. I don't want to be around rats. Like Johnny was saying, it's so dark in there that you couldn't see your hand if it was in front of your face. That was pretty badass. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good challenge to watch, because I mean, anything could happen, as you could see. There was a lot of things that happened. But, plus they're in Vietnam, it's 90-degree weather. Who knows how hot it was down there? Or most of them came up drenched,
Yeah. And it took all day. Like, if we saw them during the afternoon or mid afternoon to like we saw the sun go down. So this took a long time. I really liked TJ like in his silent laughs when he was watching everyone do the puzzle. Like, what did Bananas say? I'm gonna like punch somebody in the whoever this person is, I'm gonna punch him in the face. And you just see TJ like laughing so hard and at the same time being so silent. It's so funny. I just got a kick out of that because I love his like trivia laughs. But this I actually kind of liked more because he was like truly enjoying his, just like his diabolical self, you know?
Right. Yeah, and I thought that was hysterical when Bananas realized that three of the pieces were double sided after Derek told him, and Jordan just bust out laughing.
Yeah, Jordan's a troll. He was like, "You didn't know that?" It was pretty funny. I thought that was funny too. You know, Aviv talked about you're not a real challenger if you don't go into elimination. You know, I love when the seasons that we've seen in the past, is they make you go into elimination. Do you think, like, to be a true champion, you have to go in elimination? Or do you like when people, like, have this, like, almost undefeated season without going into the elimination?
I completely agree with that statement about you got to be in the sand in order to be a true champion because there's a couple reasons. Like, one, you need the reps, right? You need to all this working out and preparation that these guys are doing. It's really to compete, and getting out there and getting in the sand and prevailing when your back's against the wall. That's the definition of a true champion to me, right? So going in there and proving yourself, time after time, that's what builds these challenge legends. I don't like when people are basically skating through the challenge without having to prove themselves and then think that they're just equipped to run the final. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't even think TJ respects that, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I mean, we constantly see these challengers come in with alliances and protection and trying to sneakily like not be in elimination. But I do get pissed off sometimes when I do see challengers like almost finesse their way, like, okay, we have to be in elimination this season, that I'm gonna go against who I think the layup is. So I do get frustrated with that as well. But I agree, like you have to go in elimination to be a true champion. Like I'm looking at elimination records, like I wanna see what you bring to the table. Yeah.
Right. I agree with that too. And I think that's more of, just getting your feet wet. A lot of people who aren't used to that elimination pressure, right? They probably feel like, well, I'll have my best shot against the easiest person. I can get that first win under my belt, build some momentum. So next time when I'm going down there, if I'm facing a challenge legend or somebody who poses a physical threat, maybe I'll feel more secure knowing that I have at least one win under my belt.
Yeah, no, definitely. But eliminations can go like any way. Like there could be a physical elimination, there could be like a puzzle elimination, there could be a water elimination. You never know. So, like, you put yourself in these circumstances like, okay, I'm going to go against someone who's really small. Like I got this, and it turns out to be more convenient for the other person. So it does get kind of tricky. So I understand, just to play like devil's advocate, like, sometimes I don't want to go in elimination. I don't want to risk having to go in elimination to secure my bag. Like, I want to win and I want to stay out of there as well.
Yeah.
But that's really rare that you see people go straight and like you just win and you don't even have to go into elimination.
Right. I mean, I can't remember, at least from any seasons I've viewed, of any champions that didn't go into elimination, at least once.
Yeah.
Everybody's pretty much been down there to come back and then earn their way into the final, especially once they started making that one of the rules, right? With like spies, lies, and allies, getting that red skull, that was a big one. And then the pressure was on to get into elimination, right? And that kind of made the show a little bit more entertaining.
Yeah. I hate the seasons where they're like, I'm gonna vote someone in to go into elimination. And I kinda like when you're last, you're just going straight in. So you need to win in order to protect yourself. Cause then it's not on anyone else, it's on you. Like you
Right.
didn't perform well. So you gotta go in. You know, there's some seasons where they're like, okay, well, you're a rookie. I'm just gonna put you in. So I love it when they actually when you lose and you have to go into elimination.
Yeah, those are good. And it's better for TV. That sometimes you want to see those key matchups, right? That's what we live for, right? We want to see Bananas go against Wes or CT or somebody that you could, or Jordan, right? Someone you consider on his level rather than him just versing these layups allegedly, or people that you don't see going that far or that deep into the competition.
Yeah. Were you excited to see Karl and Devin back?
Yeah, ecstatic.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to give any spoilers away, so we're going to cut it here. But it was a really good episode, I'd have to say. And the elimination was pretty good too. But we'll leave it up to the other guys to talk about that. So, with that, peace.